This is my EVH Wolfgang relic, China made. So of course there's issues with it. This nut I'm switching out to a Floyd Rose nut, and right here it's a hair that way, it's not centered, so I'm gonna have to plug the holes here and re-drill when I do that, and plus when I put in the new string bar I think I have to drill those holes as well. And this Floyd Rose 2, the cheap China kind, the bar snapped, so going with the Gotoh, and it looks like it would work with my studs in there, but I'm going to go with the Gotoh ones. They're thicker, and I'm sure the quality is better. Plus, I'm doing all this work, I might as well go for it. So what I'll end up doing is putting it on the drill press so I can get a nice straight hole. I'm just going to use a 10.5 millimeter drill bit, which is a little bit smaller than this, so that it'll fit nice and snug in there. The way I remove the studs is with a crowbar. There's various ways to do it. This is the way I like. It's pretty easy, simple. I put a piece of wood under the crowbar to protect the body, and get it under there, under your stud thing there, and just pry up, and it'll come out of there. I can't do it with one hand, so. And also, you can't see now because of the tape, I should have showed you before, but originally I had to move this stud was off by just a hair. I had to move it back a little bit, but if you plug it and it's off a hair, the drill bit will want to follow the crack of where you plugged it. So what I did was I drilled a 3/4 inch hole, and then I plugged it with a 3/4 inch dowel. That way I had more meat for the drill bit to stay in line with, in case you have to do that, because some people might have to spread theirs out or in, depending on how their original studs were in there. So if you need that info, hopefully that'll help you. Okay, so the spacing for the Gotoh was 74 millimeters, which is what I'm at. So just as a precaution, I put some masking tape and I marked my center holes. In case when I drill I'm off, I'll have some lines to go by in case I have to move, plug and re-drill. So you can see there, 74 millimeter. Okay. So this anchor is about a little over 1.1 inches long. So without this top piece in, so the hole is going to be drilled like that. I put a little red mark here with the Sharpie. I'm going to go to the top. Now, let me get it out of time. The top of that red line, and that will get me. I'll be able to drop flush down into the body, because I already know I need the trim to go as low as possible to get my action the way it is. And I did put a shim in here, all the way in here, like a thin shim. It's kind of hard to see there, but it's in there. So anyway, okay. Okay, this is the drilling of the tremolo anchor. 10.5 millimeter drill bit, as I mentioned earlier, and it's going to be tight. You're going to have to pound it in there, but just don't mess up the part. Put something over it when you pound it in. I'm going to use just this plastic. It's a piece of thick plastic. I'll put on top of the I'll take this out, and then I'll put it on top of here, and then I'll pound it in once I drill this hole out. My drill is modified to give me the depth back here, so my guitar, because otherwise if you have a regular drill, it's normally over here. The drill chuck and everything. Your guitar, you might get one of these holes drilled, but just the way the guitar is shaped. So I modified mine with some wood to kind of stretch it out. Just FYI. So take a deep breath and be brave. I'm not going to video this part, but you'll see afterwards. Okay, on the stud, there's this little screw on the bottom that can go back in or come out like that, and there's a hole in that part. I don't know what that's for. If I find out, I'll let you know, but I'm going to install it just like this. And, I'm going to install it as low as I can for my guitar application. Since this is going to be a really tight fit, I have some of this screw lube that I thinly spread on here to help it go in. And it's going to be still tight. It's not going to slip out of there with that. But it's going to help it go in. Just make sure your holes are deep enough as you want them, or these are going to stick out, and then you have to take them out again. And be careful not to damage this. Like I said, put something on it. I'm going to have that on there and whack it with a hammer just to protect it. Just make sure it goes in straight, of course, into the hole. And okay. So the studs are in, center to center. Oh, try to get it. 74. Oh, there we go. 74 millimeters, center to center of those posts. I can breathe now, so there you can see that. And now I can take the tape off because I know I'm good with that. And now I could just do some other things. And I did put my detune on, EVH detuner, because I'm going to be flush, of course. This hardware is heavy duty. It looks, all steel, and it's solid. It's heavy. Plus the brass block. You can see. So I ended up keeping the same nut on, so I'm not ready to deal with all that yet, having to sand and get my action right. Plus I probably have to drill some holes, so I'm going to hold off on that. It plays and stays in tune the way it is with after putting the bridge in. I am getting some buzzing, and it's not intonated yet either. And if you can see, it's higher in the back because of the tension spring there. And I'm all the way down with my post, so I'm going to raise them up a hair just to level it off, see if there's any difference. Mainly just to try to get my action up, even though my action is, I think, kind of high, but it's not. It plays okay for me. And I usually use 2 springs in mine, and I tried them on the ends. This is normally how I play them. On the ends, it feels the same, but I'll leave them like that. I ended up taking out my shim in the neck because this bridge was higher than I anticipated. My other one was lower. That's why I had to put the shim in, so I ended up taking it out again. And I did have an issue with this low E wasn't gripping. It kept popping out at like 4 or 5 times, and I was kind of like, oh man, that's the problem I was having with the cheap one. But I got it to stay in there. I don't know why it was doing that, but I noticed when I would tighten it up, it would push the string back out. So maybe I just didn't have it in there deep enough. I still don't know, but it's holding now. I've been strumming on it and whammying it and everything, and it's in there. I guess that's something you'll just have to kind of figure yourself if it doesn't work. I know there's people that leave the extra winding when they clip the ball off on their string and stick it in there to alleviate that, but these were strings that I had, so when I put new strings on, maybe I'll try that way. So I got it all dialed in, so now I'm level there and level on this side as well. That's going to be a very good shot. Knobs in the way, but it plays nicely like that. I thought I would be better flush, completely flush, but I like it like that. Very nice upgrade, of course, from China to this. I guess China is Japanese, but still, it plays the way it should. You can whammy on this thing way more than you need to, and it stays in tune. It will go out of tune if you get really daisy crazy, you know, but I don't play like that. I'm a couple whammies here and there, so